Yeah, good afternoon everyone. Welcome to the BFL Football Show for another week. Proudly supported by McDonald's Ballarat and Ballarat Toyota. And Nutty, thanks very much for joining us on the show once again, mate. Another good weekend of action last weekend.
Lots of action to get through, mate. Let's get straight into it.
First game we'll look at is Bacchus Marsh and Lake Wendouree. This game was played at Manly Park on Saturday afternoon. Bacchus Marsh 13-5-83 defeated at Lake Wendouree 7-10-52. It's a good win there for Bacchus Marsh. Melton played Darley. Darley 16-14-110, continued on their winning ways with a good win over Melton 9-14-68. North City 11-11-77 beat a Ballarat side who had a pretty good second half. Ballarat 9-6-60 and Redan 18-8-116 defeated East Point 13-6-84. So Redan continued on their winning ways and obviously remain undefeated. So Nutty, first of all, we'll look at Bacchus Marsh and Lake Wendouree. Bacchus Marsh beat Lake Wendouree for the second time this year. Both teams have been struggling for form in recent weeks, but Bacchus Marsh should be delighted to get 4 points.
Absolutely. For the sides that are sitting closer to the bottom of the ladder, wins do not come too regularly, so they'll be pretty happy with that result. I thought Lake Wendouree might have put in a better performance, especially getting Ben Taylor back into the side, but look, their confidence is shot at the moment. They're just not playing good footy. They're getting smacked by sides that they'd normally be competitive against, and then obviously losing games against sides like Bacchus Marsh, who they'd be hopeful of beating. But take nothing away from the Marsh. They've improved a little bit this year. They've got a lot of young kids obviously coming through their side, and obviously they're getting a lot of senior football into some kids that are going to play with the club a lot heading forward. So it's a valuable experience for these people.
And the Lakers have been fairly inaccurate all year with the goal kicking. They kicked 7 goals, 10 on the weekend, getting to 13-5. So they only had one less shot than Bacchus Marsh, but obviously getting it down there a fair bit but can't capitalise, which is disappointing.
Yeah, and trying to find a constant avenue to goal as well has obviously been a difficult thing for Lake Wendouree too. So.
Look, Melton took on Darley on the weekend, and Darley continued on their pretty good form over the last 6 weeks. This is a game they needed to win. And look, they weren't disgraced, Melton. They're only a couple of goals down at half time, but Darley's class, I suppose, shone through in the second half, and they came away with a really good victory in the end.
Yeah, look, no matter where these two sides sit on the ladder, they always have very competitive games. Obviously, Melton beat Darley earlier on in the season, which is a big upset defeat that we were talking about earlier on in the year. So, look, another great effort by Melton. They're playing some really good competitive footy at the moment, and look, they kicked 5 points in the last quarter. If that had been 5 goals, then who knows? They might have actually taken them right to the line. But look, Darley's playing some super footy at the moment. Obviously they've got Nathan Jackal, who's a very good player back into their side now. Took a very good mark across half forward on the weekend, and they're starting to get their team together. That's going to shake up a few sides in the finals this year.
Yeah, for sure. And probably one of the games that I suppose shaped the six in terms of after the weekend finish was North City and Ballarat. North City had a really good win in the end by 17 points, but I thought the way Ballarat fought this game out, they could have easily thrown the town in at half time, but they hit 4 goals to 1 in the last quarter, Ballarat. So certainly Shane Hutchison and the coaching staff can take some confidence leading to this week out of their last quarter.
Yeah, and the disappointing part was the third quarter on the weekend. Ballarat, they worked their way into a position where they could have actually won the game, but unfortunately, North Ballarat City, they're a very well structured side, and they play the game very well. So they only needed 10-15 minutes of elapse to actually get on top of Ballarat, and that's what happened in the third quarter.
Well, it's really the third quarter that cost them, because they led by a goal at quarter time and only about 9 points down at half time. So the third quarter, 5 goals to 1. Really cost them the game in Ballarat.
Big out for Ballarat. Chris Howgate was a late withdrawal on the morning of the game, so obviously that robs Ballarat of another tall that they would have played in a different area of the ground. And North Ballarat's talls really got on top of the Ballarat defenders during that third quarter and kicked some crucial goals. So I think that was the difference in the end.
And Redan played East Point at City Oval on Saturday, and Redan come away with a really good win by 5 goals in the end. Look, East Point weren't disgraced. They were in the game all day. 2 goals down at quarter time, 5 goals down at half time, 6 goals down at 3/4 time. So probably at half time they needed to get the first couple of goals of the third quarter. East Point, they couldn't do that, and Redan just showed their class again. They remain undefeated. Nutty, are they a fair way ahead of anyone else at the moment?
I wouldn't say fair way ahead. Obviously on the board, on the ladder they are. They're 3 games clear sitting on top. So they're certainly playing some pretty good footy at the moment. And look, they had about 4 guys that withdrew out of the side that was named on Thursday night. So I was actually surprised to see that they won this game so comfortably. Jared Edwards, I didn't expect him to play. He came up, the evergreen Jared Edwards, who played another good game in the midfield. So he just keeps getting better with age. That bloke, he's playing some pretty good footy at the moment. And they've just got winners across halfback as well. Nathan Horbury and Tom Lamb.
Yeah.
They're two fantastic players that just set up their attack every single time. The ball gets kicked into their defence, and those guys seem to chop it off all the time and create for them. So.
And Grant Bell playing some pretty good footy of late as well.
Bell's in super form, yeah. He's
so
been a magnificent pickup for them. So look, they're flying at the moment. It's hard to see where they're going to drop one. They've got a pretty easy run home too. I think they've really only got Sunbury left to play as one of their tight games left for the remainder of the season. So, they could go through undefeated quite easily. Yeah, for sure. Now, just touching on the goal kicking ladder as it stands at the moment. Matthew Sutton, he's leading on 45 goals. Dan Jordan, with his 4 goals on the weekend, moves to 41. And Michael Powell from Sebastopol remains on 37. So, still pretty open, the Tony Lockett medal at this stage, and you never know. Brendan Porter making a late charge.
Yeah, making a late charge with 5 goals on the weekend as well, so he's on 32 goals. So it's still anyone's medal at the moment. And the ladder at the moment, Redan are on top, obviously. Sunbury second. North City moved to third with their win on the weekend. East Point fourth, Darley fifth, and Ballarat sixth. I think Melton South will struggle to make it in seventh.
They've got a tough run home.
28 points as well. So some exciting weeks of BFL action coming up before the finals commence in a few weeks' time. Nani, just touched on the junior football. The under 10 round robin coming up on Sunday, the 9th of August. Another big day. I was at the day last year, and it was such a great day. It's good to see the kids enjoy their footy so much, and obviously the parents, I think, enjoy it just as much.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great day for the young kids to sign off their season, and the venue's yet to be decided. I think we're looking hopefully at Wendouree 2 and North 2 to hold that event, but look, we'll just have to wait and see how the grounds hold up, and hopefully we can get that day underway for the kids, because they just love playing their footy. Yeah, definitely. And the Robbie Allen Medal coming up on the 22nd of August at the Mercure Inn. Another great night that obviously celebrates the year of all the junior football and netball this year, Nani. Yeah, it's going to be a massive night this year, the biggest one we've ever had, obviously with the inclusion of the 3 netball competitions this season. So I think we're actually going to pack the joint in this year, which is going to be phenomenal. We had 540 people there last year, and I think we're going to go close to cracking the 600 mark this year, so it's going to be a great night. And the finals obviously commence on the 25th and 26th of August. Now, a reminder about the gates. Yeah, look, obviously junior football is a pay-to-play system, and they don't pay to get into their football during the course of the year, but obviously the junior final series is run by the league, and we use that as a major fundraiser to cover the cost of junior football in the competition for the following year. So, just a reminder to everyone out there that they will need to pay an entry fee to get into finals football. Now we'll just move on to the Senior Netball, Nani, from last weekend. Lake Wendouree 75 defeated Bacchus Marsh 46. Melton and Darley had a draw, 41 apiece. Ballarat 51 defeated North City 32, and East Point had a really good win over Redan. East Point 64, Redan 29. Now Bacchus Marsh slipped to 6th on the ladder with their defeat against Lake Wendouree in the weekend. Are they a chance to slip out of the 60, you think? Yeah, look, we've written an article this week in the Footy Record, so if people want to have a read of that, it's a fascinating read. It looks at the 7 sides who are a likely chance of playing off in the finals this year, and if you take a closer look at Bacchus Marsh's run home and Ballarat's run home, they're very similar run homes, and it's going to boil down to the round 17 clash when they actually come up against each other, and whoever wins that game is probably going to sneak in and grab that 6th spot. So a couple of really big games going forward for Bacchus Marsh and Ballarat, and it's going to be a really interesting finish to the year. Yeah, and just with Melton and Darley had a draw on the weekend, it does go to show how even the comp is between 4th and 6th. And you never know, we could be in for a few very close finals this year, which would be great to see. Absolutely, and there's nothing between Melton, Darley and Bacchus Marsh. Those 3 sides have all drawn with each other during the course of the year, and Ballarat aren't that far behind either. So, Ballarat hasn't beaten any of those sides so far this season, so that's why I sort of didn't really include them in that statement. But it's going to be a really interesting final series when we get to that point. For sure. Now, just previewing the senior football for round 14 coming up, Darley v Melton South. You think Darley at home will be too strong? Yeah, look, I think they will, but Melton South, if they want to make a charge to get into the final 6, they've got a very tough run home. It's a game they've got to win these games. East Point and Ballarat, probably the match of the round for mine, I reckon. Both sides have coming off defeats last week, and look, Ballarat need to win this to, I suppose, cement their spot inside the top 6. And if East Point want to finish third, which I'm sure it's still their aim, this is the game they need to win. The winner of this game still keeps their hopes of finishing in the top 3 alive, because there are a lot of crucial games heading towards in the last 4 or 5 rounds. So, North Ballarat City, they've still got to play Sunbury. They've got a couple of and Darley as well. So they've got some big games to play too. And between 2nd and 6th, there's nothing between these sides at the moment in terms of the ladder. So these games are crucial, and look, if Darley's going to finish in a high position on the ladder, they've got to win this one. For sure. And Lake Wendouree play North City. This game's played at the Wendouree Reserve on Saturday afternoon. Look, Lakers just got to be trying to be, I suppose, be competitive as they can.
And hope for the best, I suppose. North City in really good form, so they'll be very hard to beat, I would have thought.
I think the conditions will probably of the Wendouree Reserve, which has deteriorated over the last couple of weeks, I think it'll bring the margin a little bit closer, but I still think North Ballarat City will win.
Sprinklers might turn themselves on Friday night, maybe.
They might find themselves with a little bit of leakage, mate. You never know.
And Melton v Sunbury, I think Sunbury probably in a period of their season when they need to find some good form.
This is the type of game that I think can kickstart them into the final series. I think.
And they need to, but to be a threat come September, they need to start playing some good footy. So they'll be hoping for a really good win of the weekend.
They've dropped 2 in a row, and then they've had the bye last week. So they would have freshened up. They're going to get some pretty good players back into their side. Simon Clark, Cameron McCabe, these types of players that have been missing during those losses. They're going to get them back into the side, and I think you'll start to see a gradual improvement towards the finals, and they'll finish top 2. I've no doubt.
Yeah. And Redan play Sebastopol, which is going to be a fairly one-sided affair, I would have thought. None yet. It'd be interesting to see if Redan do rest any players coming up to the season, up to the finals, because they've got some older players on their side, and why wouldn't you want to freshen players up? You sit 3 games clear on top of the ladder.
They've still got a bye to come though. I think they've got a bye next week, so. That means they've missed 2 weeks in a row. Maybe they've got a couple of guys that are a bit sore. This could be a crucial opportunity for them to rest a couple of players. So, but you don't want to take any side lightly these days, because Sebastopol could come up and I don't think they will, but there's the outside chance that they may cause an upset.
I reckon, just from memory, Sebas played Redan at the City Oval last year. I reckon Sebas led for some portion of the day. They did push him, so you can't take anyone. You can't take a win for granted these days, which is good.
Absolutely not.
And the McDonald's Mark and Goal of the Year, Nunny. How are the nominations coming along? We seem to every week you seem to say you'd like some more nominations for, was it the Goal or Mark?
The Mark.
The Mark. So some hangers would be good.
Yeah, did a count on the weekend, and we've got plenty of Goal nominations, but only about half a dozen Mark nominations so far. So if we can get those in, if anyone sees a good hanger of a weekend, by all means send them through. That'd be great. And the BFL live scores application, we say it every week, Nunny. Download the iPhone from the website, download it to your desktop on your iPhone. Absolutely, great way to keep in touch with what's happening in the BFL.
Sure, mate. What's on for your weekend? How's the fitness yourself? Any chance of making your return? I hear you maybe making an appearance on Telstra Dome on Sunday night.
We have got a couple of guys that are going to have a bit of a run around. I hear you're making a comeback too, bro. Looking forward to it.
I am, mate. I hope I don't dominate too much. But
I also heard that Scott Carey is he's on the lookout for you as well.
Is he?
Maybe. We're going to have the cameras on this one, because he said he's going to king hit you.
Yeah, we tried by video, no doubt about that at all. No, it should be good. Now, Nunny, thanks for joining us on the show today, mate. We look forward to you hopefully joining us this time next week.
Look forward to it, mate.
For all those viewers out there, thanks very much for joining us on the show today. As always, the show is proudly supported by McDonald's, Ballarat and Ballarat Toyota. For now, it's goodbye, and we'll see you next week.